ladies and gentlemen, MrSotko here. Welcome back to another episode of Hey MrSotko, what do you think of this? So the rules are simple. In the comments down below, you just say, Hey MrSotko, what do you think of this? With some kind of crypto-oriented question at the end. Could be an ICO, coin, anything to do with cryptocurrency. And today, the first question we have is from Taurus Nell. He says, what do you think of Cardano? So Cardano is a pretty interesting coin. It has one of the highest market caps so far. It is at currently number 5 on the market cap at $15 billion. Still quite a ways away from Bitcoin, but what coin really isn't aside from Ethereum? So even better than Litecoin, which is easily my favorite coin. But Cardano is like Ethereum, so you can build platforms with it. As you can see, a lot of the ICOs that are coming out, like if you go to ICO alert, this, that, or the other thing, you'll find all these weird coins, and some of them have to do with the medical industry, some of them have to do with the banking industry, this, that, or the other thing, or gambling, and those are almost always Ethereum-based platforms that facilitate some kind of transaction or another. It uses Haskell, programming language that has a high degree of fault. So if the programming language runs into some kind of error, it usually just skips or something like that along those lines instead of just instantaneously crashing like most programs would. And the reason why they do that is because they don't know what kind of errors they might run into months or even years away, so they want to use the Haskell programming language. I'm not much of a programmer. Took a little bit of computer science, but can't say that I'm a programmer. So it's particularly going to be developed in the developing world. We're not specifically, but so their aim is to bring the blockchain technology to banking systems where they've previously been too expensive, such as the developing world. So Cardano, pretty interesting coin. A lot of things are going to come from it. It is a proof-of-stake coin, by the way, so you cannot mine Cardano. Instead, the difference between proof-of-work and proof-of-stake is quite vast, and I'd actually like to make a video in the future on the difference between proof of work and proof of stake. But in a nutshell, proof of work is when you're mining a coin, you mine Bitcoin, you get a Bitcoin, success, and the whole world knows that you've just mined a Bitcoin, and there you go. Proof of stake is a little different in that the coins are made immediately, so maybe 10 million coins are just spawned, or 20 million, or whatever the developers prefer, and then to get the rest of the coin, say it maybe has a 20 million starting and it has a 30 million total cap of its lifetime, the rest of those 10 million will be proof of stake, so you'll have them in a wallet, and then transactions will actually be verified with the coins that you have in your wallet. So it's almost like a savings account, and you're going to get coins in return for holding onto your coins. So a lot of lending coins are starting to get into that, where you either lend your coins, which I don't recommend those lending coins, or you proof of stake the coins at the same time, which I feel that is a better way to go. I feel that the future is proof of stake coins. Eventually, proof of work is going to get too ridiculous. It already is. If you just go to eBay or even Craigslist or your local store, 1080 Ti's right now for GTX 1080 Ti, 1080 are going for upwards of $1,000, $1,300 a piece, when originally they're really only 800, maybe 500 bucks. So they're basically doubling in price, and nobody can get a hold of graphics cards anymore because people are buying them by the thousands to make rig farms with, and so there's a huge supply and demand issue now with graphics cards. So if you're looking to get into gaming or something like that, or even mining, right now is probably not the greatest time, because you're going to have a very hard time finding a cheap graphics card, and you may get lucky, but if you did get lucky, it's just because that person couldn't sell it for $1,300, which I don't really advocate selling your graphics cards for $1,300, because they're simply not worth that. A used graphics card is nowhere near that. But anyway, so that's proof of stake. So that's why I think that proof of stake is eventually going to be the winner. I think Bitcoin takes like something like 156 or 159 countries combined in electricity. So it's really out of control, proof of work is. So proof of stake, I believe, is the future. So let's take a look at Cardano. Take a look at the price. So we have a circulating supply of about 25 billion and a total supply of 31 billion. I did hear the max supply, yes indeed, 45 million. Or billion, 61 cents a piece. It's down about 3.5%, 3.67. Not too bad. It was at one point $1.23 or 25 by the looks of it, so not too bad there either. And I really attribute all of the altcoins that I've been showing lately and how they're just pretty much down to one of two things. Now, Cardano, mind you, is not a pump and dump. It is definitely a long-term coin. I would recommend getting into it. I don't own any Cardano, but I would definitely, if you have Cardano, hold on to it, because it's going to be worth something later on. A lot of coins are pump and dumps. So a new ICO will come out, and it really doesn't bring anything new to the table. It just doesn't, and I'm sorry to have to say that, but a lot of these coins just don't. There's like 5,200 and counting coins, maybe closer to 6,000 by now, and not all of them can be winners. Just can't. Not all of them can have $20 billion market caps. Just can't. Not mathematically feasible. There's just too many of them. There's always going to be a loser. Cardano, I don't believe is. So I attribute a lot of this, of course, all of the lowering prices lately. As you can see, that Bitcoin is only at I think about 11,000 right now. I haven't looked at the price in a couple hours, but which is a good thing. I haven't looked at it in a couple hours. I know everybody else is like every 5 minutes looking at the price of their crypto. Something like 11,000. Let's just go with that. So everything is way down right now, and that causes the price of all kinds of altcoins. So that's pretty natural. But a lot of these coins are pump and dumps, and you'll see this great big pump and then a dump at the end. But this is different. This is definitely not a pump and dump. When it goes up like this and then goes up like this, that's pretty organic, if you will. That's not too bad. Some of these are pretty vicious jumps, but again, this is a really popular coin all over. But this is particularly popular in South Korea. It's apparently it's huge over there from what I read. So again, it's number 5. So what do I think of Cardano? I think it's got a lot of uses in the future. I think it's got a lot of uses that I probably personally won't get into for a little while. I know they want to make some software for banks and for various things like Ethereum does. But right now, I think everybody's just piling onto the Cardano wagon and waiting for the price to go up once it becomes really useful. So the next question here is from Grow Your Own. He asks, what do you think of Ethos? People say it could replace Coinbase one day. So Ethos is a new exchange/coin coming up, and I'm a little on the fence about Ethos, I think. I don't know if it's particularly pronounced Ethos or Ethos, but I'm going with Ethos. And so I watched a little bit of this video, and pretty much propaganda as usual. So the key features and advantage of Ethos, which is, like I said, it's an exchange and a coin. It used to be a different coin. I believe it says it here. It used to be Bitcoins. And universal wallet, pretty good, but a lot of those have that. Secure key management, also a lot of exchanges have that as well. Liquidity network, of course, you need liquidity to have an exchange, so that's not nothing new. It's pretty much required. It's like going to a Buick dealer, and when you go, you're like, does this Buick have an engine? And they're like, it sure does. You're like, yeah, it kind of needs liquidity. Mobile support, that's good. Some exchanges do not have mobile support, so that's good. I think one of the reasons why Coinbase is so popular is because of that. I think I will talk about Coinbase a little bit in just a moment. One-click diversification, this is interesting. Instantly diversify your holdings into several different currencies. So you can set the split yourself, or you can use preset baskets for idea generation. Social trust ecosystem, not even really sure what that means. Again, it's a lot of corporate jargon with ICO coins that don't, in the end, really mean too much. Community census features, ratings, and reviews, that's pretty good. Get rewarded for sharing valuable insights with others. Also, kind of good. But that could also lead to extremely biased shilling if you're rewarded for sharing insights about it. And they may mean some negative insights about it too, but I imagine those who are going to get rewarded most are going to be talking positively about Ethos. Let me just call that now. And it's not really surprising. So here's a list of features, and of course Ethos has every feature they listed. But I'm going to compare it with Coinbase. And so it has Bitcoin. Yeah, every exchange has Bitcoin for the most part, so that's good. Asset allocation, Okay, I'll go with that. Mobile support it does. Fund transfers, cold storage is unchecked for Coinbase, which is untrue, as Coinbase has 98% of their customer funds stored offline at all times. So even if Coinbase got hacked, a lot of the funds would be still stored, and you'd probably be reimbursed. They're insured in a lot of ways. So, you know, it could happen to Coinbase, a hack. Definitely. I'm not going to say it won't, because a lot of exchanges have been hacked over the years, but Coinbase seems pretty good. So continuing on, they both have the same checks. Altcoins, to some degree, Coinbase, yes. Token classification, social aspect, ERC20 tokens. Okay, we'll go with that. So now altcoins is a big issue. So I wanted to talk about, I went to the website here, ethos.io, and you have to buy the coin. So in short, Ethos tokens will be the payment mechanism for accessing and using services on the Ethos platform. So you can't just send money over and then buy Bitcoin, or send Bitcoin and buy Bitcoin. It appears that you have to send Ethos over or buy Ethos in order to facilitate your transactions. That's something that I'm a little worried about immediately. Why do you need to do that? I understand the fact that some of these tokens on these various websites that do this, they help facilitate transactions on the network, and at the same time they're used to facilitate transactions on other exchanges, to buy and sell, like arbitrage in a way. So I get the reason, but again, that doesn't sit well with me, that you need to buy Ethos to even use their platform to begin with. Why can't I just send Bitcoin over and start using your exchange? So that's a problem. Pay for transaction fees and API calls. So transaction fees, that's what I want to talk about. So I want to talk about the reason why Coinbase is the #1 exchange. More people go to Coinbase than any other exchange by far. But it only uses 4 separate crypto coins. So that's a problem. So one thing I want to ask about Ethos is the ease of use. Why Coinbase is the #1 is because simply it is the easiest exchange to use. And when I say Coinbase, I mean GDAX as well. So GDAX/Coinbase. Of course, if you want to trade and be a real trader, you need to go on GDAX because it's way better and way less fees. So when I mean Coinbase, I mean GDAX. Let's just have that for the rest of the video here. So the ease of use. Coinbase/GDAX is the easiest one to use by far. If you use Coinbase and then you've tried to go to a different exchange, you'll notice immediately that you're a little thrown off by the complexity of the exchange. And I don't mean to say that I can't handle something like that. It's just as soon as you get to the exchange, you're like, okay, now I need to look around and see what's going on. Whereas Coinbase, it's just all on the left side of your screen, or it would be this according to the camera. You get my point. It's all on the left side of your screen, and you can see it all, and it's just easy to use, period. So I want to know about additional features as well. So what kind of features does it have other than just being able to create a portfolio and buy and sell coins? Does it have an additional feature other than that? And I'm not really entirely sure on that. Enable liquidity to help with changes in user asset allocation. So that's what I was talking about, that it helps verify transactions, it just helps overall to help buy and sell other coins, and especially for arbitrage, so you can bid your coin against all these other coins and make money via that way. But I still can't sit well with having to buy Ethos just to use their platform. I'm not sure why they want to do that, but it just seems not like a scam to me, and not even like a functional scam, but just seems like they want all your Bitcoin and they'll give you Ethos instead. And that doesn't sit well with me, because that's like that's kind of like trading an American dollar for a peso. You know, it's just not the same thing. And in the end, you're trading around these pesos now, but in the end, they got all of your American dollars. So the king fiat, if you will, the great evil, if you will, but they got your Bitcoin, right? And now you have Ethos. So that's weird. Excuse me. So how many different coins are on Ethos? And I'm not really sure about that. That's something I'd like to know, and I could have probably looked up a little further on that, but it's a matter of how many different coins. So the more coins you have on your exchange, of course, the more viable it's going to be to some degree. And but the problem is a lot of coins sometimes will fall off and will lose all their liquidity, and then exchanges sort of dump them eventually, and then that sort of leaves people in a pretty bad spot when your exchange that you're using dumps your coins and you're no longer able to use it, and you need to just exchange them or send them off to a different place. So will they be like Coinbase and use pretty much the top coins? So Litecoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin, and unfortunately Bitcoin Cash. So we can go back to the crypto market cap here. So they use Bitcoin, Coinbase does, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, and Litecoin. So they use basically the top coins. Of course, there's a few in there that they could implement that might make Coinbase a little bit better. But so that's a question I have, is how many different coins do you have? So the more coins, the better, in a sense, but you still need to provide liquidity, because a lot of markets, like if you go to like Cryptopia and some of those more vague exchanges that handle a lot of those super alty coins, like Patcoin and stuff, a lot of times they don't have the liquidity to actually sell or buy the coins that you want to buy immediately, and it starts to be a problem when you're trying to sell your Patcoin and get something else and nobody's willing to buy it because there's no liquidity for it. So hopefully they use the best coins that have the maximum liquidity, and they do their homework in that sense. Another question I have is fees. What kind of fees do they have? And I have not really seen that either. I didn't really want to dive too deep into Ethos. I just kind of wanted to talk about it a little bit and kind of what I think about it at first glance. And if Ethos becomes pretty popular, maybe I will make some videos on it later. But so the fees is a question. So another reason why Coinbase is pretty much top dog, if you will, and I know there's Binance and Bittrex that trade a lot of altcoins that Coinbase doesn't. So you really need to have two. You really need to have your Coinbase, your GDAX, and your Bittrex or your Bitfinex or whatever you prefer for your altcoins, and then Coinbase for your daily day trading or your hodling, if you will, of Litecoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin. As opposed to the other exchanges. I suppose you could do that just the same, but the reason why I like Coinbase GDAX a lot, rather GDAX specifically separately than Coinbase in this instance, is the fees. If you use limit orders, limit buys, and limit sells, you don't have any fees. And there's no fee to transfer to your bank account either with an ACH transfer. Now, I know it takes like 7 days to get back to your bank account. Nobody really wants to wait 7 days, but just man up, be patient, and send those without any fees, buy and sell without any fees, transfer it there with very little fees. Of course, there's always network fees transferring it, to a new exchange. There's no fee, of course, between Coinbase and GDAX, but if you're transferring it from somewhere else or you're mining or something, there's always going to be a little bit of fee. But in terms of buying and selling on the exchange and then transferring it to your bank account or doing whatever you need to do without fees is amazing. And a lot of the other exchanges have fees, and so that makes it a little hard to day trade, and especially if it's just little amounts. If Bitcoin went up just a couple $100 and you traded it, those fees would get a little bit too much. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. That is Cardano, and that is Ethos. I don't know, but that's my opinion on the matter. Again, comment down below with your own, with your own opinions on the matter, what have you, and then also ask the question, hey, MrSotko, what do you think of this? Put something crypto at the end of it, and I'll make sure to cut you out, put you in a video, and talk about those topics. But until then, I will see you guys next time.